So I once had somebody ask me if there's such a thing as a perfect bike. A bike that does everything. And while the simple answer to that question is no, there's actually more into that than I think I originally thought. The perfect bike, in my opinion, is a bike that does everything that you want it to do. Because there is no bike that does everything. I mean, you have bikes that are good for track days, you have bikes that are good for long-distance touring, you have bikes that are good for off-road, you have bikes that are good for commuting, etc., etc., etc. But a perfect bike should be perfect for you. What are you looking to get out of your bike? I've come to realize that this bike, this little 2013 Yamaha FZ8, is the perfect bike for me. Ooh, just scraped my foot there. So this bike, it is extremely, extremely comfortable to ride around on. So for commuting, it's a dream. It's a wet dream. Oh. So yeah, for commuting and for getting around, this bike is fantastic. It's comfortable, which also kind of goes hand in hand with doing long distance road trips. Now I've done road trips on my R1, and that's really a ball ache. I mean, I did it for the experience. I'll do it again. But if I had my choice between doing it on this bike or my R1, I'd take this bike any day of the week. That's just a no-brainer. So, I mean, aside from commuting, which, you're not usually going balls to the wall when you're commuting, this bike actually does have some pretty significant power to it. So if I wanted to get out on the twisties during the weekends, I mean, that's if I didn't live in Florida, if there was actually twisties here. But if I wanted to do twisties on the weekend, or maybe even if I wanted to do a light track day, I could actually do that on this bike. This bike has enough power behind it to do all of that. So for all the things that I look for in a bike, is it able to commute comfortably? Is it able to get out on the weekends and really give it the beans? Am I able to feel comfortable doing long distance road trips? Quite frankly, this bike inspires long-distance road trips. I get on this bike, and it makes me want to go long distance. So does it do all the things that I want it to do? Yeah, absolutely it does. I Am Ramekin has it perfectly right. He has this bike. He bought this bike before buying anything like the R6 that he has now. And now he bought the R6, so when he really wants to rip it for a track day or anything like that, he has that R6 to do so. But, I mean, he used to do the mountains with Chase on this bike, and he was able to keep up on Blood Mountain without really any hesitation. So, yeah, this bike is a phenomenal, phenomenal bike. And I will most definitely be buying one. That's without question. Or if not the FZ8, something of the same style. Maybe like a Ducati Monster or Street Fighter, or what is it, the Kawasaki Z1000, I think it is. But this style of bike, it is just glorious. And quite frankly, I think this is a good starter bike as well, because it's got enough power that you're not going to get bored of it right away like you would with a 250, but it's got, but it doesn't have as much power as, say, my R1, so it's not really going to get you into some crazy trouble. So yeah, I think this will be a great starter bike, because not only that, but it has the upright seating position. So for those of you who are just learning to ride, I think learning on something like this is much easier than on a leaned forward seating position like the aggressive style of the R1. And these guys in the car over there are checking me out. Is that a helmet? I've never seen a helmet before. Is that a GoPro? Anywho, guys, why don't you guys leave me a comment down below and let me know what your idea of a perfect bike is. Maybe you guys are more into off-road adventures and you want to go supermoto. I mean, that's your decision. That's up to you. You need to know what you're getting into the biking. You need to know what you're getting into when it comes to biking. You need to know what you want. So just because you see some of the motovloggers having R1s, for example, or supermotos, or whatever the hell everyone has, that doesn't necessarily mean it's the best for you. It just means it's what they chose. It's what they like. So get what's good for you. Sit down and figure out what you want to be doing. Do you want to do long distance rides? Do you want to do track days? Do you want to do off-road? And then pick a bike based on that. And you know, it might not even be the right bike that you end up picking at first, but at least you get an idea of what that biking style is all about. And then maybe you decide you want to do something else later on down the road. There's no shame in that. So why don't you guys leave a comment down below and let me know what you think your idea of a perfect motorcycle is. Or, you know, maybe you agree with what my thoughts are on it, or maybe you have a different idea. I'd love to hear it. Maybe you already have your perfect motorcycle. Tell me what you have and why you think it's the perfect motorcycle. Be a nice, another cool conversation. And I'll check you guys in the next video.
If you're listening